just never came up, and I felt bad. Sorry, I felt bad for not being upfront from the beginning. That was like not Jeremy's fault or problem. That was mine for just not telling you. So, yeah, and she was like, oh, okay, so he's not coming into contact with all these people. Yeah. And I was like, I think it's just 1 or 2 people at a time, but they're kind of spaced out. Yeah, is my understanding. And yeah, and she was just like, no, it's fine. I mean, is he doing marijuana? No. I guess. And I was like, he did it more in the past, but not recently, or not a lot since, or at least for a while you haven't told me. So I was like, I don't think so. No. She was like, well, I guess I'm cool with that. Some of my friends also do weed, so it's just like a weird concept for me to like.
Yeah, I just terms with. Yeah. The only reason I didn't like bring it up like to them directly was one, like it's not something that ever really like comes up with us. Yeah. And also
you bruised me. No kidding.
Yeah, and also it's just like I didn't there's that whole stigma of like working for somebody and not like a company and stuff, because I guess it's like the self-employment like stigma and everything. Yeah. And so I just kind of didn't want them to think that like, I don't know, I was being like insufficient or whatever. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I just didn't want them to think that like I wasn't like that I was, I don't know, freeloading or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, like I'll just kind of keep it quiet. But now they know, then whatever.
Yeah. I mean, a part of me felt bad because I personally didn't bring it up because, not like this doesn't reflect like the way I think of you, but I was worried that my mom would think of you differently, if that makes sense.
That's
which is, I think, is what you're saying.
It's like the self-employment thing, and then also working in like the like marijuana business kind of stuff. It's just like two things that have stigmas attached to them, and doing both together is just kind of like, well, but.
Right.
I just didn't want it to seem like I wasn't making money, and I was just like doing whatever because I'm, still making money, still doing things.
Right. Yeah, cuz I don't know, I guess I was worried cuz my mom doesn't like Danny's boyfriend cuz she thinks he's a freeloader as well, but he's unemployed.
Yeah, but like I'm still working, which is the thing. So
yeah.
I just wanted to.
I guess I was just like, oh, here we are.
I just wanted to be accepted.
No, yeah, it's okay. I'm that doesn't reflect the way I feel about you, but I was like, oh shit, I don't want my mom to like look at you and think of Kenny, Danny's boyfriend, But I feel like
is he the one that got? No, somebody got somebody pregnant.
No. Danny's brother got his.
There you go. That's what
pregnant.
It is.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think it was Danny that got pregnant.
No, it wasn't Danny. No, Danny was definitely way more responsible, at least. But I guess because I met Kenny. He's a very nice and very intelligent guy. But because he moved in with Danny, I think he's working now, but he didn't work for a certain period. Yeah. Or something like that. And he was kind of focusing on like, oh, I kind of want to go to trade school so I can support myself in getting a degree so I can teach history. And I was like, he's got a plan. He's got goals, He's just kind of exploring different life paths. But my mom was, I don't know why. I think it's because she's very protective over Danny. She was just very much like, oh no, like, wow, what a freeloader. He's living in that apartment with her, and I don't even know how much he's like paying to live there, if he's paying at all. And she was like, that's so fucked up, like, I don't like Kenny. And I was like, you haven't even met Kenny, okay?
But yeah, I mean, that's also why, like, I mentioned to you, first of all, hi Cam.
Sorry, we're in the midst of a discussion, I guess.
Yeah, we're arguing. We're about to break up. I'm putting it on Twitch for clout.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, but I mean, like, I remember I briefly mentioned to you, like, I was like, if we were to move in together and, like, I didn't have, like, a job or whatever, then I could, like, focus on, like, streaming, voice hacking, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And you're like, well, I wouldn't mind paying. And I was like, fuck no. That's, well, that's
Teresa,
why.
It was like Teresa and Travis McElroy.
Yeah.
He was unemployed for a little bit. Yeah. And he was, like, getting back on his feet. And while she was paying rent, he was getting groceries. He was getting groceries, so it kind of balanced out, because he felt really guilty about it. Yeah, for a long
and like
time.
Absolutely, like
I
would.
We could do something like that.
Yeah, I could take that, like I could take duties like that, but I also just feel guilty. and I don't want
have
your mom to think I'm
No.
freeloading.
No, she won't think that. I think because she knows you much more, but she knows you much more intimately than she knows Kenny. Like she has, I think maybe she met him in passing once, like a year or two ago. But then, like hearing Danny talk about him, she kind of like formed her own opinions, and I was like, he's a nice guy. He's just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's working out, but even if he wasn't, work is hard, especially in COVID times. So
Yeah.
and if Danny is happy with him, then I can't really, I'll think he's a good guy until they tell me otherwise, until Danny tells me otherwise. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's why maybe that's why I was a little apprehensive. I didn't want you to think that was your fault or in any way, shape, or form.
It's not. I wasn't hiding it from them. It was just kind of like.
It just never really came up.
Yeah, it never really came up, and I just didn't want them to like think any less of me.
Yeah, no.
So I was like, also, I think I'm just gonna get your dad coffee. I don't think I'm gonna get him more beer.
You can. I'm sorry if I put you off.
No. I mean, it's just like because I don't know how fast he like goes through it.
He still has 4 left of the
left?
coffee one. He hasn't told me if he's liked it or not. He's just drinking it.
I don't know.
But I'm sure
Maybe.
he likes it.
Yeah.
But it's totally up to you. I think he was slowing down his intake. That's what I mean when he was healthier. Yeah. So he's just like drinking. He used to drink one every day, like have a beer every day when I was in high school. Not that he's an alcoholic. I don't want to freak anyone out. But now it's much more like spaced out, and he's been biking a lot. So I'm assuming it's just a health thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. But because if I get him coffee, then I don't know what kind of coffee to get him. Like, I'm not as well versed in coffee as I am like beer.
You can ask Mari, maybe.
Well, I don't even know what your dad likes.
I don't even know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I could try. I could take pictures of what he has right now, and then we could go from there.
I'm going shopping tonight.
Oh, you're right.
So I might just say fucking get him the beer.
Yeah, you can just get him the beer.
And be like, sorry, fueling.
He has a particular brand of wine that he's been a little obsessed with. Not that he's drinking a lot, because again, I don't know. Even though I guess wine's healthier. But he has like 3 bottles of the same brand in the cabinet. And I don't remember what it's called, but it has an angel on it with a little trumpet and wings. So if I took I was like, maybe I could take a picture, and I was going to send it to you and ask, like, hey, maybe this is something that is doable, since it seems like he likes it a lot, that he's kind of stocking up on it. But I don't know.
Let's see. Grape juice. Wine with angel.
Did you say grape
on
juice?
The bottle? Is it? You said it has a trumpet?
Yeah, it does have a trumpet. Oops, sorry. I was gonna quote retweet. Yeah, like that. Electra, there you go. That's it. I don't know if that's something that you'd be interested. He does have 3 bottles, and he's gonna go through them slowly, but it looks like he likes them a lot, so he wouldn't mind stocking up, I don't think.
We'll see. Muscat white wine. Huh. It looks red.
Right?
Well, okay. I'll look into that.
Yeah. We can check out the stores. And see. Okay, there we go. But yeah. I like how you were able to find it based on my description.
I literally just Googled wine with angel on the bottle.
And trumpets, yeah.
I didn't even include trumpet.
Wow.
And then I was just like, this?
Mm-hmm. He really likes it. Oh boy, my hair is getting long. I say that every time we come on chat, but I don't remember having these little wispy parts. I was gonna joke and say, it still might happen, but I was like, what if we hung out and I cut my hair really short again, like pixie boy short hair again?
I'm bald.
Yeah. Would you be like, what the fuck? You were saying you were gonna grow it out?
I would be surprised. I would be like, didn't you say you wanted to grow it out? And then you would be like, no, I just decided to cut it. And I'd be like, okay. Because it's your hair, like I don't have a say in what you do with your hair. If you wanna cut it short, then you cut it short. I've come so far. I'm not gonna police you.
I've come so far, though. I'm not gonna do it. Probably not. I feel like it's grown a lot, though.
It
in the
has.
last,
It has.
Few months.
Me. Oh wow.
What? Oh yeah.
They're little bows.
I'm very Christmased out today, just cause I don't know. You know how I get the weird days before my period? I can feel it building up, and I'm feeling apathetic lately. So I thought it'd be nice to get excited for
festive,
something.
yeah.
To trick my brain into thinking like, hey, something cool is happening. Don't be. No time. Come on. You know.
No time to be apathetic.
Yeah. No time to be depressed. Come on. Chop chop. It's how I've done it. So it works. So. Yeah.
My apathy was removed when they put Sephiroth in Smash Bros. And I got to see his big fucking titties.
Some delicious titties.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him, but I'm gonna pretend like I have.
He's your typical big, tall anime
Wait.
man.
Sorry, there's
with
something.
long white hair and big boobies and a big sword.
Oh, good for him. It was something I had to show you.
I want to fuck him so bad.
I'm glad. We're branching out. Moving on is monogamy. No kidding, because you want.
So, fun fact about the Sephiroth in Smash that I'm not 100% sure about because I have only seen it once and it might have just been like a trick of the pixels or whatever. But I think that they legitimately modeled his nipples like to be like not just like a spot on his body, but like legitimately like a nipple. Because there was one point where like he like on his victory screen he like turned around and I could have sworn I saw his fucking nipple poking out. And I was like, I don't know if that was a polygon or if that was his fucking nipple, but if that's his nipple,
It was his nipple.
I'm losing my shit.
It was his nipple.
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to find it, but I guess I didn't save it, and I'm really sad about it. But also here. That's it. But it's funny because OP, this is their cat and their girlfriend's cat, and this is them introducing them for the first time.
Aww.
And they love each other. Can you imagine? I know we don't have our own separate cats for this to happen, but could you imagine the
Soulmates.
romance? I think you'd know that you were meant for your partner when your cat loves their cat like that.
Straight up.
Oh, I can't find it. This is
Hi,
so
Lizard.
depressing.
Welcome to the
Hello.
stream.
I'm trying to look for a Tumblr post,
That'd
as
be
I
fun.
normally do. But basically, it was like, oh, what's that specific male whore stereotype where they have the black turtleneck crop top, and Dio was on it. It was like a masterboard of all characters, male horror characters. That were wearing.
Okay, here's the thing. There's Himbo,
I can't
right?
find it.
There's
yeah.
him. Like we think about Himbo, and we look at we think about the like Gallo Themos,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then you go from like Gallo Themos, then you've got. Oops, sorry. Then
No,
you've
it's okay.
got
You got it? Sorry, should I move?
Hooters Gallo. Is that what it's called?
I
Where the
think
fuck
so.
did it go? It just
I think it went on there.
vanished.
Sorry,
into
I'm
the
gonna
void.
stand up. Okay. Anywhere?
What the fuck?
Maybe it's on this. It's blending in on top of it.
Did it bounce that far?
Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't
Hit
matter.
my thigh and immediately was launched into
I'll get it later.
space.
Yeah. So so you've got Gallo Himbo, then you've got Hooter Gallo, and then I feel like that is like a different subsect of male horror,
Right.
where you go from himbo to just being a whore, but then there's like Dio male horror, which is just like you come
Something
out
else.
of the womb fucking.
I could have sworn I had it. And
We
then
did
I
not make
saved
the
it.
Furby.
We did not. I should have though.
As much as she wanted it to, and as much as I love her, it's not gonna happen.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
When I'm deceased.
Perhaps. Oh, you got it?
Straight up. What?
Sorry, I'm still looking for it.
No, you're fine.
For the post. Yeah, I can't find it. But it was literally just a master post of all these.
Oh,
You got it?
Yeah.
All these guys who wear black turtleneck crop tops. And have a very specific energy.
I definitely want to see this.
I want to show it to you so bad, but I can't find it.
So, hi Lizard, hi Rivia.
Yes, we have not started on the topic yet.
We have not started on the topic, but we will pretty soon. I also want to ping in a few different servers and just say like, hey, we're streaming talking about this stuff. So
Talking about male horror archetype. Such an interesting archetype.
very, very interesting. If you want to like preface it, and then I'm gonna go.
Oh, with the
Yeah, just like
topic?
the context.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
like
Gotcha.
with the podcast and
Oh,
everything.
gotcha. Sorry. I was
No,
out
you're
of it
fine.
for a second. I was thinking about this interesting archetype. But-
a whore.
Yeah, I was thinking about a horror. Sorry. Okay. So, yeah. The reason why we decided to talk about this topic was because I've been listening to a really, really well-made podcast called All My Relations, and it's a really good kind of intro to contemporary issues that indigenous peoples of the Americas face on a regular basis, and just kind of their own personal experiences and how they're, I guess, just how they're, making all these issues known and spreading awareness. And one really interesting episode was they were talking to I believe she's a professor. She's a really, really well-renowned speaker who's, I believe, part of a tribe from North Dakota. Hello. They're okay. So her name is Dr. Tallbear. I think if you look her up, you can see all the stuff that she's accomplished. But yeah, her background is of a native tribe in North Dakota, and that's all I remember. I wish I remember the name. And they were talking about decolonizing sex, decolonizing relationships as we know it. And that's not really something I think about, I have the privilege not to think about stuff like that. But what they were saying was that the idea of monogamy in Western society, I guess in current contemporary society, is compulsory. It's something that, like heteronormity, it's very heteronormativity. It's very kind of pushed onto us at a young age. So what Dr. Tallbear decided to do was kind of explore polyamory, since that was something that was common in native tribes before the first settlers arrived. So essentially, why monogamy became compulsory was because when the settlers first arrived, they kind of instigated this new law or rule that was basically stating that if you are a man, if you are married and have children, you have the right to own more land. So there's more incentive to get married, basically. But people, native peoples who were polyamorous that was very much a rule that kept them and barred them from owning land. Since that's a very common theme that settler colonizers perpetuate. So it's the idea of basically using monogamy as a means to own more property if you are a cishet white man in this society. So if there were, again, that incentive to be monogamous and to own as much property as possible. So I guess fast forward to now, where that's not really the case anymore, where you don't have to be married to own a certain plot of land. While there's still benefits to getting married, and being in a strictly monogamous relationship. Now the idea is that we've, ever since America was first settled, having perpetuated the need and the kind of false need for monogamy really kept people from exploring polyamory, really kept people from being able to, really consider that route. So I guess the idea is that Dr. Tallbear was talking about is that we're all monogamous because we feel like we have to be. And polyamory is not at least in Native America, in the Native nations, polyamory is not what we think of it as. Polyamory is not the biggest misconception, right? Is that people think polyamory is like, oh, you're sleeping with a bunch of people. right? Or like, oh, you're like dating, you know, you're in this relationship, you're in different relationships at the same time, where it's much more broad, is what my understanding was. You know, I guess it's, you know, like there are asexual people that are polyamorous, or there's aromantic people who are also polyamorous. So there's no real need for romance or sex, and if you are polyamorous, it's just the idea that you are, really in some kind of relationship with different people, kind of simultaneously, and kind of exploring those relationships simultaneously. So it's very interesting to think about, because it really made me question, like, oh, would I be monogamous had I been able to,
If you were not raised in that society.
if I was not raised in a society that really like only shows monogamy, really. I mean, I can't think of any real media off the top of my head that has a polyamorous couple or a polyamorous
And if you do,
person.
it's always like a culty kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always like very creepy. Or it's always like just sex, like just centered around sex.
Or
yeah.
like directly cults too. Like I think Midsummer was kind of like that, where it was just like they entered this like establishment and everybody. I don't think they explicitly like were like polygamistic or anything, but I think it was very much just like, oh, these people are all together and they just kind of like do each other because they don't have like they don't go like outside of their little commune. So very. I think it's, like Mobile says, I think there's just a lot of, like, negative stigma attached to the idea of polygamy because monogamy... monogamy.
Yeah, close enough.
Because monogamy has been so, like, deeply hammered into, like, society and everybody's minds that it's just like, oh, if you're not monogamous, you are the odd one out. You're weird for that. There's no reason that you should be splitting your efforts between multiple people when ultimately marriage is like very just like its own
one person.
Yeah. It's like a very monogamous concept in and of itself.
Right, and it's and again, it's like the idea that, like, you know, people are so baffled when they find out there are asexual people that are polygamous, and aromantic people that are also polygamous, or polygamous. Saying it so many times. But the idea, you know, or at least, you know, kind of keeping it to the Americas of, you know, colonizers using monogamy as this tool of really putting, you know, men in power, and really putting that, really setting up the grounds for patriarchy and misogyny, which previously did not exist at all. Within these tribes, they were just like, who? Wait, what's the Edgar Allan Poe meme where he's like, patriarchy? What the fuck? No, we don't have that here. So it's very, so it really brought a lot of problems along with it, and so it makes you really wonder, like, would I be polyamorous if that's something, you know, I thought of, or something I explored at a like developmental stage? I don't know. Because I can't say for sure. You know, I can't say for sure I wouldn't be polygamous because I was raised in this society.
I think it would definitely be something that a lot more people would be open to. And I think we've had this discussion before also.
Right.
Where, like, on occasion, I find myself, like, you know, in, like, deeply committed relationships like ours. And then, like, I have, you know, plenty of other friends and stuff, too, that I, like, you know, that I, like, would be attracted to if I were not already in a committed relationship. So it's just, like, I see these people and it's just, like, I feel, like, you know, they are my friends, and then I love them very deeply. And it's, like, there's, of course, like, we are purely platonic, but it's, like, also just, there's, like, I don't know. Like, English is like such a constricted language, you know? Like you say love and then everyone's just like, "Oh, romantic love." But then there's like no like differing like levels of love for like platonic love or whatever. But it's just like let's take I don't know if you know him, Gabe. Yeah, I think I've told you about him, obviously. But Gabe, one of my best friends since middle school. And like he's just I think pretty much always going to be one of my best friends. Like we'll go periods of time without like talking to each other, without like even like, you know, any kind of interaction with each other.
Right.
And then like as soon as we meet back up, it's just like we never like left off, you know. And it's just like I love Gabe with my entire being, you know. I would kill for him, I would die for him, but not for you though, not for you.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But like that's just how it is, because it's like if I were not raised in a like purely monogamous society or a society where monogamy is like so hugely the norm, would I consider like him also as a partner of mine, you know, rather than just like a very close friend. So I think that like I feel like that's not a I feel like that's not an experience that I have like solely by myself. I feel like that's not something that only I have experienced ever.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely something that like many people across like the world probably, maybe the universe if we're going that far, but that's a different conversation. You know, I think it's an experience that everybody has. You know, they've got like their friends that they're just like super close to and they love and cherish and like would like, you know, give the world for. And I think that very often I see posts about like, like soulmates does not mean romantic soulmates. Like you can have platonic soulmates and you can have like, you know, like the same relationship with them as you would with like a romantic one, except like, you know, maybe excising like the more intimate parts. But I think that that's definitely just like the idea of polygamy is something that everybody, well, polygamy in like a broader sense than what everybody like thinks of it, I think is definitely a thing that everybody experiences and everybody kind of like buys into without attaching the name polygamy to it.
Right. And I think that's what the point that Dr. Tallbear was trying to get across, where she was saying like it doesn't look one way, you know, for everyone. It's not just one set. You know, polygamy doesn't mean just one thing for everyone. And yeah, so I think you know it's more a description of the relationships you have with people, like who you love really, and that doesn't just extend to, you know, just your family or just your partner or just your friends. You love all those people, and like you said, you know, you would do so much for them. So I think in that sense, yeah, in a way that's kind of a little bit like I would say it's definitely a form of polyamory in terms of you're maintaining and having loving relationships with multiple people, but they kind of mean different things from person to person, even between your friends too. Like not your relationship with two friends might be vastly different from each other, and you're kind of navigating that in your own way. So the idea that when people are like, oh, you can't love like all the, you know, you can't be romantically in love with all these people, and I'm like, we kind of do that all the time though. We kind of put the effort to put if you're, you know, a good, decent, mature person, you have to understand that you have to put the effort into maintain all these relationships, whatever they are. And most of us are already doing that, you know, just because we don't see those people as romantic partners doesn't mean that we're not putting in that effort, you know.
Just because I don't see someone as my romantic partner doesn't mean I don't love them.
Right, exactly. So it's like the whole tying into monogamy, we just have this really like awful like idea, or you know, you see it all in the media and movies all the time where it's like, oh, just one person singularly matters in life and that's it, you know, my other half or my soulmate or whatever, I only have one,
picking them out of a crowd.
But yeah, and it's like, I don't know, man, you're more like a puzzle piece. You got a lot of parts that kind of go into it, you know, and a lot of relationships make you who you are. You have multiple soulmates. You have, you know, it's not your other half, you know. That's like a really shitty way of putting it, you know. But if we were to put it kind of in those terms, I would say, yeah, it's more like a puzzle piece, really. That you're kind of being built up by different people and your experiences that you have with them versus, wow, I have a whole half of me missing, you know.
I think that's a good way of putting it, and I think that might be the first time that I've heard like people like analogized like that.
I think so.
I don't know what the word is, but just like comparing them to like a puzzle piece, and I think that's pretty fair. I used to think of it always as like laying bricks and stuff. So it's like, you know, you are not necessarily like your own foundation, but you're definitely like one of the starting pieces. You are kind of this like entire wall that's being constructed. And obviously, like, you know, the people you meet, the experiences you have, they like, you know, build bricks. The older you get, the like higher you are.
Right.
And obviously sometimes like things happen, like maybe when a brick is mislaid, or like something gets into the glue, the mortar, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think so. I was like, cement. Yeah. They
too,
use rubber
probably.
glue.
They use
rubber cement.
They use Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like sometimes, you know, something gets in there and it causes like a little rift. But then over time, like you kind of build over that, and then eventually it kind of just straightens itself out again.
Right.
So I think that, you know, each brick, or not like all of them, but like some of those bricks definitely are, you know, just different people that you love in different ways.
Right. And for a long time, I was like, I don't like the idea of thinking that we're like not whole, you know, on by ourselves, like that you need people to complete you. But I feel like on the flip side, yeah, we do need connections, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you know, you always get like stories or like movies of that one person that like lives in the middle of the mountains by themselves, but
Spider's Greg.
yeah. But you know, that person probably derives a lot of happiness from nature and wildlife, and who knows, maybe they have a farm or dog or something. You know, there's still like something there always keeping that person company. They can't exist solely in a vacuum if they want to survive or be happy.
It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Is like plain and simple. It's just like even if you don't like buy into like psychology or like that kind of stuff, which I don't know where you're going or what you're doing, but pop off, I guess. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs like definitively states that one of the needs that you need, I think like towards the top of the pyramid, I think, is the feeling of belonging. Yeah. So if you don't have any connections, if you don't even have like a pet or anything, then like you're gonna suffer, because no matter like how much happiness you derive from like being outside in nature and stuff, it like there's nothing that simulates the feeling of having something that cares about you as you care for it. Yeah.
So it's like you do. While yes, you don't necessarily need like one specific person to make you whole again, or
you need a fucking friend.
yeah. You definitely do need some kind of meaningful connection. If you know, again, if you're in order to survive, and you know, even if that's not people, that's always something else. You know, it's always something tangible, like a dog or cat or whatever it is, or even just being, you know, out in nature. That can only get you so far, but you know, it is a powerful connection, you know, that we have to nature. Sorry to get all spiritual, but yeah. So yeah, you just we take those. I feel like in society we really take those kind of different connections really for granted, because the idea of like, oh, the greatest love ever known is like the one like true love that you have with like one person. If you don't have that, like you're gonna be lonely and you're gonna die. I mean, we're all dying, but you know, you're gonna die sooner. I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, that's such a shitty thing to put on people, because
it's unnecessary pressure is what
it's unnecessary. Yeah. I've had, you know, even in high school, I had friends that would like worry that they were gonna end up alone for the rest of their life, and I was like, that's fucked up, because yeah, you might not have that, you know, great love story that we're sold every day.
Fucking Christmas.
Yeah, by Hallmark. But we do have, you know, our friends, we do have our families, we do have, you know, what surrounds us. We do have like our pets, you know. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, even if you don't have that one like incredible, amazing movie love story, you're gonna be happy. Yeah. You're gonna be happy if you recognize you have those things. If you recognize you can be happy just by having those things and still have a very fulfilling life. I know I have many relatives and aunts that, you know, married or got divorced or just never, you know, maybe dated and never like found that one person, and you know, I feel like, you know, from, you know, I don't, you know their lives too intimately, but you know, from when I interacted with them, they seem like they have very fulfilling, you know, they're leading very fulfilling lives with maybe kids they had from past relationships. They're very fulfilled by the relationship they have with their kids, or by their work, or by family. So in general, so yeah. So it's very shitty. I feel like it's very shitty. People always be happy.
So, two things. One, I want to retract my statement about what I just said about being out in nature, no matter how much of a connection you find with nature, it's not going to be fulfilling, because I think that
that's possible.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think that let's say they're out in nature, out in the middle of the mountain, they have a little garden that they tend to or whatever. I think that could be enough.
Could be fulfilling enough.
Yeah. Because it's even though I mean, I guess the vegetables and stuff are living things, but it's not another.
It
they're not.
You, it feeds
they're
you.
not
alive, maybe, I guess.
Sentient.
Or sentient.
They're not sentient, but you're still caring for them, and they're still giving back to you.
Right,
so I think
right.
that facilitates enough of a connection that you are able to, be happy out there in the mountains. But if you're just out there in a cabin, no pets, no garden, no interaction with the human beings,
it's a horror story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably.
Because either you're gonna suffer alone up there, or maybe you get along with the birds and stuff.
Yeah,
but
a Disney princess, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think that I think that is too unpredictable. Because they're so dedicated to their own nature and stuff. I think that being able to rely on the animals in nature and nature's natural nature giving back to you, I think is too unpredictable to rely on in order to attach it to the feeling of belonging kind of thing.
Right.
And then the second thing was Rivia mentioned the 7 types of love according to the ancient Greeks, which
Yeah.
I don't know about, but I already dig it just from that. However,
Oh, who? Greeks? The Greeks?
No, just the 7 types of love. Didn't the Homestuck have
there was 4.
Yeah, there was 4 different kinds of love. That's what that is.
Moirail.
I hate that you know this.
I only know those 2. I don't even know all of them. Okay, anywho. But yeah. I feel like it takes a specific person maybe to, or a very specific person who's able to derive that happiness from nature. Because if you were someone who was previously, surrounded by, people and, people that you cared about, and you're suddenly stuck in nature, I feel like it's going to be very hard to transition and be happy, for sure. But if you're someone who's definitely been, maybe, had 1 or 2 people, a small group of people that's very close to you that you don't really get to see often, and you're someone who's naturally happy in nature, I feel like it's possible that can sustain you for a very long time or for the rest of your life. But yeah, no, I see what you mean though, that it can get you only so far for specific people, I guess. Yeah. But nature is great. As someone who loves nature, and dating someone who doesn't love nature. No kidding.
I mean, I do enjoy nature. Nature, I think, is a super cool thing, and
super rad.
Birds are cool. Cats are cool. Feral cats, big cats, anything canine, fantastic. Anything scaly, also very cool.
You're just a furry at this point.
I know, yeah, but I can only be outside for so long, and then I get bored, and then I would like to come home and stuff my face with electronic consumption.
That's fair. Yeah. I think I'm the kind of person, I can go days definitely in nature. I've done it before, but I definitely.
So, sorry to interrupt, but that reminded me that sometimes you ask me if I want to go camping, and I'm just no. I'm just no. It's definitely something that I would be open to trying. Am I excited about it? Not really.
That's okay. We don't have to do it.
I mean, I would be willing to try it. Probably only 2-3 days tops.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I definitely would miss the creature comforts of home.
Yeah,
for sure,
exactly.
For sure. But it's just really nice to experience it and have those experiences. Kind of. I always I know I joke my brain's a Polaroid camera, but sometimes it's a little old, dusty magazine catalog. It's just nice to like flip through and see the camping section. You know, it's nice to like have those memories and be like, wow, it was really cool. We saw this, we did that, you know, that we don't normally do, you know, for whatever reason. It's definitely something I would like to do more normally. I don't know why I haven't, but, you know, I think quarantine has definitely made me very comfortable indoors. But yeah, I feel like some of my most like craziest experiences, like the stuff that's really like stamped into that catalog, is really just being outdoors, just being in nature, seeing the snow, the trees, the birds, the rivers, the lakes, the the mountains.
That's a pretty good point. Doing it in her
Yeah.
backyard for one night first and just saying how she would wake up and I'd be inside.
Yeah.
I'd be like, babe, I wanna go inside. I'm cold.
I don't mind glamping too, or we just stay in a cabin and, you know, spend the day
Yeah.
outdoors. I feel like that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah. I feel like if that were the case, then I would just like we would be outside for like a while, and then I would just be like, I want to go back inside.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we're gonna go camping, we have to go like camping. That way, I don't have like the excuse of like going back inside anywhere.
That's okay though. I feel bad if you didn't have the option.
I don't know. I just like being inside because I like having the electronics and stuff.
The creature comforts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Which is fair.
I've got this much energy for inside
Mm-hmm.
and like that much energy for outside. It's like a 75-25 fit.
It's okay.
Michael, we're not going camping. We are in a pandemic.
We're in a pandemic. We're waiting though. We're waiting to get some kind of camping.
Eventually.
Someday.
Not with
Yeah.
you though, Mike.
Oh.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not for a
You're
long
like
time.
Diego though, because Diego's the same way. He
That's
can
what
do
I'm
like
saying.
one solid day of like, you know, hiking or biking for 6-7 hours, and
I
he
Probably couldn't even do
conks
that.
out. Yeah. He does it because my dad forces him. So I think he'd do
That's
it for
fair.
less.
He's
if
also younger.
yeah. I was gonna say he's a minor, but he's not.
Not
Anyway, not
anymore.
anymore. But he'll you know, I feel like that's also very much, you know, how I like it too. Like I can definitely do like a day of like one long day of just like how I do for work. Maybe work kind of prep me for it, where I'm like, wow, I had to do work. I had to be outside for 7 hours. But I'm tired and I'm happy to be home now. So yeah, so I'm definitely not someone who, I don't think I could do a backpacking trip like Alex. Or my good friend Eric, who did the backpacking trip in 2018 all throughout Alaska, and I was like, that's so fucking cool, but I don't think, like, I'd want a little cabin to go back. You know, I'd be fine if, like, to backpack, if there were, like, Airbnbs or cabins along the way we could stop at.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that hike that we went on with Alex.
I felt so bad.
Like, okay.
I was like, this is so much longer than what you signed up for.
No, I know, but it was like I was okay for most of it, but then like once we hit like
We got lost, too, I think.
not super.
Ish, where we were like, how do we get back to the car? And we were like, go up this
Oh, it's because we
way.
came out like a different section.
Yeah, and I was
but
like, what
we
the fuck?
figured it out.
Yeah.
But like pretty much when we like hit the end of the trail,
Mhm.
like before we started making our way back to the
Yeah.
car, that was like pretty
I felt
much my
so
limit.
bad.
No, it's okay.
It was hot too, and I was
It
like,
was
oh,
very hot.
and it was uphill as well, and I was
Yeah.
like, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I just don't like to exert like that much effort when it's like, cause like I'll go to the gym and like I'll exert that much effort and more,
Mhm.
but there's just something different. I think it's just because I don't do cardio that much, and so
Yeah.
like when I do like cardio
yeah.
stuff, then I'm just like,
yeah. Oh, favorite place to camp?
let me try and answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Zion.
Oh,
Although I don't know if
didn't-
you camped at Zion.
I didn't camp. We cabined and then we hiked on in. But that would be a cool experience for sure. But there was one place I have camped at that I think was my favorite of all time.
What was it?
You want to keep guessing or do you want me to say?
Zion is the only place I know.
Okay. Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is
Oh.
my favorite place to camp, even though it rained on us and snowed.
Lake Tahoe, the one up north,
Yeah.
or the one like all the way over there with the
Are
rest
there
of the lakes.
two Lake Tahoes?
Isn't there a Lake Tahoe in like Michigan or something?
There's a Salt Lake City. Is that what you're thinking? Salt Lake?
What's that place with like the 5
Utah?
lakes?
Oh, Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah, there's like
the
Lake
5 Great
Michigan.
Lakes. Yeah. That's different from Tahoe.
Isn't there a Lake Tahoe?
I don't think. I think they're different names. I think There's Lake Erie, I think, and then Lake Michigan, and Lake, and then Lake.
Great Lake.
Yeah, but I think Tahoe is its own thing. But it's a massive lake. You're on it and it feels like you're at the ocean. Or you're
Tahoe?
Yeah. And it's just, there's, what I love about Tahoe too is there's so many options too to just cabin it there as well. And that's why we were thinking of getting a cabin there until COVID happened. But yeah, Lake Tahoe is like connecting Nevada and California. And it's really beautiful. It's really nice to just plop and see the sunrise. And then we were there in June, but there was still snow, believe it or not. I don't know if I have a lot
We were
of
there.
pictures.
We went with the squad,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, we did go for a little bit, for a day. We took our, let me see if I can find it. It's really pretty. This was the dog we met. Sorry.
Oh, a little baby.
But yeah, this was a river that kind of connects to
Tahoe.
Tahoe. I don't know if you can see it in the distance in this video, but it's behind there.
Georgetown.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called that, but
Wasn't there like a massacre
I don't know.
in Georgetown?
I don't know, but yeah, there was still snow.
Wow, it's
Eagle
pretty
Lake.
though.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
really stunning.
I think one of like the most appealing things.
Let's see the dog. Sorry.
Just text it to him. Just send it to him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because I feel like if I feel like if you hold it up there, then it's just like the glare on the light is just gonna like ruin it.
Should I try it? Or?
You can.
I'll try it. I'll try anything once. Let's see.
One of the most appealing things about like camping and just like being outside for me is definitely like
Oh yeah.
just
Blake.
the little cooking stuff with like the little camping tools and stuff, like a little fire, making a fire. I changed my mind.
That's
Making
what
a
you wanna
fire
do,
is the thing that I want to do. I'll make a fire and then I'll go inside.
Anyways, this is the dog.
Oh wow, it works really well.
Yeah, it's kind of a little
wow.
weird.
Fuck my
But
phone.
yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe put the brightness all the way up.
My brightness isn't up enough, I think.
Maybe. Also, there's a really good ice cream spot there. Oh, okay.
Babe, that's just Baskin Robbins.
It looks like Baskin
know.
Robbins, but it's not. It was really good, and it was technically in Nevada, so I got to like wake up in California and be in Nevada for a couple hours, and then come back to California. Yeah, but it's just the lakes back here. Kind of see it behind our
It's very big, yeah.
group. That's Pride. Yeah, it just looks like an ocean.
It really does, yeah. Wow, it's got like sand and shit too.
Yeah, they put sand in there. But yeah, lots of. I feel like there's a lot to it. We also roasted weenies.
I just want to make a fire and roast things on it, like things that don't need to be roasted. I just want to roast them over fire.
Yeah, we could do that.
I just like fire.
It was just so cold though, because again, snow. So I was definitely I was warmed up in my little, and I was like, I wish I had a little heated blanket with me. So, yeah. But I feel like if you're sleeping with someone, then, I don't know, might be warmer.
I'm Christian.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways.
But yeah, I don't know when we are gonna go back to the Bay Area. My brother doesn't live there anymore, so there's not really any reason for like us to go up there.
Well, Tahoe is on the opposite side of the Bay Area.
No, I know, but Rivia said we should hike Mission Peak whenever we go back to the Bay.
Oh, gotcha.
Like post-COVID, we're definitely gonna go try and visit some friends like up north again. So maybe while we're there, we could make that a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. Just Hunger Games for 5 seconds, and then I go back inside because I'm just like, okay, I did what I wanted to do. I'm done. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, that's something we could do. I think we can figure it out. We don't have to camp.
We'll try it.
Unless you want to give it a shot. But my tent's really small. We're going to be kind of on top of each other, so.
This is a Christian stream. Hi, Gabe.
Hello. Yeah, let's talk about. We went from talking about monogamy to talking about camping.
Yeah, I don't know where the transition was. It just kind of happened.
Because we were talking about how polyamory takes form in different relationships, and can someone truly sustain themselves on nature? And we were like, we'll go camping.
Yeah.
A very weird jump, but that's how we made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something else to say. Anyways, Dr. Tallbear is a really awesome native North Dakota tribe woman, and she is fantastic, and I recommend you check her out. We're gonna look her up.
No.
Oh, sorry. I was just curious.
I'm gonna look up the 7 Kinds of Love.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, the idea was that monogamy was introduced to the Americas after we were colonized. The native nations didn't really have this notion of they had a notion of monogamy, but polyamory was also widely accepted. And when settlers came and said you can only own this much land if you're, a married man, it took away a lot of natives' rights to those lands. It was like a very sneaky, undermined way. That was like, oh, you guys aren't married to one person, or you guys are polyamory. Sorry, I guess you can't own land.
Yeah.
So it was very like underhanded way of taking, because the thing I think that scared colonizers the most was that they were like, whoa, like they don't have paperwork or anything to own this land. They just own it. That's fucked up. So they created all these rules.
Probably.
Yeah. So they created, but like that. I think that's what scared them the most. It's like that where they were like, these people can't own land unless like they have these like
to them.
Yeah, unless it's like signed to something. So that's why it was a very underhanded way of taking away their right to land. But yeah, it was the idea that is polyamory, would more people be polyamorous? Would more people be polyamorous if that was something that was more accepted or more taught about in Western society? And I think for sure. I think there are a lot of people who'd be polyamorous if they got to explore that. Don't know if I would be, but I definitely can recognize that I experienced multiple relationships with multiple people.
Yeah.
That are very different from each other.
So before we answer Mike's question, the 7 kinds of love, according to the ancient Greeks, are eros, which is love of the body, philia, which is affectionate love, storge, love of the child, agape, selfless love.
This is just Ariana.
I knew you were going to say that. Ludus, playful love, pragma, long-lasting love, and philotia, love of the self.
Oh, I thought you were going to say love of the dick.
No.
That
would be
this is a Christian
Fell,
channel.
I think.
Yeah, I know, but it sounded like fellatio.
I know it did. I just didn't know how to say it. Philautia? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Philautia.
Philautia. I don't know. But I think that those are all definitely like still present and just something that people have like forgotten names for, and so they just kind of like identify themselves as like, oh, I love this person. So that's like goes back to what I was saying about English being such a constricted language where there's not words for different kinds of love. We just call it like self-love or just love of like other people, and then we have to like define it. It's like platonic love or whatever. Yeah. But there's always that like inkling of love being a romantic connotation, where it just like ruins things for everything else.
Like, mixes everything up in a way that doesn't benefit anyone. But it's very English culture is very restrictive in that respect.
English sucks. Eve, we are not reading about different kinds of love. We're just kind of discussing whether we think monogamy is compulsory or not, and that has brought us into discussions about various kinds of love. Gabe, I think I uninstalled Skullgirls, so if I wanted to play, I would have to reinstall it. And then back to Mike's question: polygamy is like living a double life. Do you guys think the same? No, I do not agree. It's not Gabe says
we talked about it earlier.
Gabe says it's not a double life that's cheating. Polyamory requires consent and all parties are aware. This is a pretty good point that we're at, because Gabe
wants to play Skullgirls.
Gabe, no. Actually, I don't know if I ever asked you this question. Gabe, do you identify as polyamorous?
We had a polyamorous asexual buddy here a while ago.
Mobile.
Yeah. I don't know if they left, though.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah.
Gabe is currently dating 2 men who I think are also dating. So they are a throuple. Yeah, so he identifies as polyamorous. So he's Mari also identified as polyamorous.
I know, I was like, where's Mari? She'd love to hear this stuff.
I know.
About how monogamy really is like not the norm, or at least what we were taught that is the norm. And it's really not,
Yeah.
But yeah.
2 lovely boys.
But what we were talking about, and saying polygamy is like living a double life, I feel like that ties into the idea when people say like, how can you like put this much effort into all these different relationships? And like I said, I feel like we already do that. We already do that with our with our friends, with our families, with our partners. Those are very different relationships that require different energies and different, approaches depending on person to person. But we do it anyways. It's like very normal. But for some reason, when we're like, oh, polyamory, that's
Then
different.
it's like, whoa,
Wait a minute. Oh, you can't do that. It's like, you're already doing it. Yeah.
So I think that polygamy, in no sense of any of your loves, should it ever feel like you're living a double life.
Right.
Because if it feels like you're living a double life, then like clearly something's wrong, because you are hiding one part of you away from another part of you, you know? Like you're hiding part of your life from another part. And for like that makes it hard on you as a person. Because no, you're fine. Because I feel like it's important to have all aspects of your life kind of tied together, and like friends from one section of your life should be able to hang out with friends from another section of your life. Just how like people that you love from one part of your life, be it like the past or something, should also be people like that could meet the people that you love from now, people that you've met currently, or like from like other places, you know, where they didn't have the connection before. You should be able to be that bridge in between them that allows them to meet each other. If you're keeping them separate, then there's like an issue because you're not being like fully present for like
all of it.
Yeah, for all of it.
Yeah. And I don't know if one love is more natural than the other, or one's more for society standards than the other. I agree that the way you love, different people is different. That love that you feel for that person, really varies compared to another person. I don't think one should have to be for society standards. I know people will definitely feel pressured. Polyamory or polygamous people will feel pressured, I think, or really pressured into monogamous relationships and feel like, oh, this isn't really natural, but it does, me behaving this way is what society accepts. So I think in a perfect world, or for someone like Mari who's very comfortable being polygamous and very open about it, I feel like, while those loves are different, it still will, it will all be kind of love. It'll all be naturally occurring kind of love. It shouldn't have to be pressured, or it shouldn't have to look good to society. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, It's different, but it shouldn't be different in terms of like society's rules.
Yeah.
It should be different because the different people you're dating are different.
Yeah. So I think like Mike, I think the way that you're looking at it is still kind of like through a monogamous lens, where you're thinking that in a polygamous relationship, you still have one person that is like your center. And like, while that might slightly be true, like, because, they're the person that you met first, the person that you've spent the most time with, like, you should still be able to...
Sorry.
Both of you, stop this. But I think that it's definitely, like, when you're in a polygamous relationship, like, just as you would love, like, one partner, you have that same love, that same kind of love for like multiple other partners too. It's like, just because you don't like share the same, like all the same interests, or like talk to them the same way necessarily, like you still feel that kind of like, unwavering love for them. And I think that's what kind of identifies like a polygamous relationship, where you're able to treat people with the same kind of love, and not like put like 60% towards one person, 40% towards another,
Right. Yeah.
And Gabe, I actually mentioned you earlier. I don't think you were here.
Summoned you.
Yeah, but I was, because we were talking about just like different kinds of like love and stuff, and I told Andrea that like obviously I love her, like because
you do.
She's,
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm actually I don't have a bit. Sorry. I lost it. But yeah, I was telling her that, like, obviously I love her because she is, my partner, and we, see a future together, and we are intimate, like together, and we were both raised in like monogamous like ideals and societies,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. And so it's like I was like, we're obviously gonna remain monogamous because that's just how we were brought up and everything. But I was telling her too that like I have the same amount of love for like, you know, my friends and stuff that I do for her. And it's like I treat you with like, you know, all the love, kindness, and respect that, you know, you deserve and everything. But I do the same for like Gabe, because Gabe's been my friend for so long, and like we know each other so like deeply. Like the only boundary that we haven't crossed probably is like intimacy, which is like, you know, we haven't like kissed or cuddled or
and
fucked or anything.
Some friends are physically intimate.
Yeah.
You know, which is definitely not a taboo thing for me. Yeah, or at least, you know, the way I see it.
Very often I want to give my friends just a little
kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to kiss my friend on the cheek. I don't know.
Not you. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, you don't want to kiss me on the cheek?
Mwah.
Yeah.
I want to kiss you on your toes. I hope
your
we're gonna
mom's
pretend.
not watching.
They're always watching, dude.
Yeah.
I went home the other day and they were just like, "Hey, can you stop swearing on your stream?"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Fuck off."
So that's what I'm saying. Don't say. No kidding.
I know,
but
yeah,
I feel like,
it was like I was just telling her, Gabe, that like, you know, I have the same love for you as I do for like Andrea, but it's just like I feel like we are gonna be friends for like a long time, and then
forever.
Yeah, forever, and that's just like, it's a different kind of love, but it is love nonetheless.
Yeah, and
same for you, Mike.
Yeah, and I think I already told you this like a long time ago, but if you know, if you ever felt like you wanted to explore that avenue of polygamy, or you ever wanted to explore an open relationship, that's something that I've always felt like, you know, yeah, why not? Like, you know, it's definitely not something I thought about a lot in the past, and historically when I've been in relationships, it's definitely not something that was, you know, present in my mind. But if my partner was like, hey, like, I really care about you, I love you, but I want to explore this avenue, or I want to explore a relationship with another person while I'm seeing you. And I feel like as long as we keep the communication up, as long as, you know, it's not something that you have to do behind a closed door that I can't open, you know, because
at that point that's cheating.
Yeah, and that would make me feel very shitty. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that would definitely hurt, you know, not being, you know, let into that part of your life. So, but yeah, it's something I'm very, very open to if it ever comes up. Right now, personally, I don't feel the need to explore that avenue or the want to. But if it ever comes up, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
I just want to say it's something that can be on the table.
Yeah,
you know, because communication should always be a two-way street.
Yeah, and I'm definitely happy like with just the two of us now. But it's like, Hold on. I was gonna like go into something else, and then I was reading the comments, and Gabe said nothing wrong with monogamy inherently, but society made monogamy weird, and I think that's
so.
Exactly the point that we're getting at here. This is like the point of this entire like topic.
It was really
just that,
hijacked.
Yeah,
I think. Especially in the past, you know.
I think that probably even if more people were polygamous, like I feel like monogamy would still be like a thing, even if it weren't like hammered into everybody's heads.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I think that the weird idea of it is that compulsory aspect that was kind of forced on us.
And I feel like too many couples are, you know, right now are afraid to explore polyamory with each other because it's really been hijacked again by like Western society and by heterosexual culture, I want to say. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but, you know, most times when people say, like, oh, this couple wants to explore polyamory, oh, they just want to have a threesome, you know, and then that'll solve everything. Or that'll solve, you know, their problems, you know.
What was the
unicorn?
Yeah, unicorn.
Yeah, unicorns. Like, oh, this couple just want a unicorn. Yeah, I don't know, go find someone. You know? But it's really encompasses of so much more than that. And just, you know, distilling it to just having sex, or, you know, to distilling it really to like the heteronormative idea, or a very patriarchal idea where, you know, the man just wants to sleep with two girls, or two girls or more at the same time, really takes away from, you know, how meaningful those relationships can be in polyamory. And just saying that it's just, oh, it's all about the sex, it's all about the sex, you know, every man, that's his fantasy. Really know, really just gives it that bad rap that
Mhm.
people will always assume will jump on that versus, you know, saying like, okay, wait a minute, yeah, polyamory, yeah, okay, I'm understanding more now.
I think a like dangerous thing also
Mhm.
is that a lot of like heterosexual couples that are
Mhm.
like on the last legs of like their
Yeah.
failing relationship are just like, oh, maybe if I let my like male partner have sex with me and also another like person,
Yeah.
maybe somehow like this relationship will
It'll
fix itself.
magically fix it.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
like,
think that idea and that concept, wherever it came from, first of all, fuck that
very
person.
bad, very
yeah.
not good, very not great idea.
And I think that also just like lends into giving like polyamory
Mhm.
just like a worse name, because it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, people are just doing this to like fix their failing relationships.
Mhm.
Ergo, by that logic, anybody that engages in polyamory
Mhm.
is in a failing relationship.
Right, exactly. And I think going back to how monogamy really kind of introduced the patriarchy and misogyny into the Native nations is that, you know, the everything has to be catering to the man in the relationship. Like always, like polyamory. What? No, that just means like he, you know, again,
he wants to
he
fuck.
it just means he just wants to like have sex freely, and we shouldn't stop him. You know, that's normal. That's fine. But yeah, that really prevents people from asking those questions and really learning more about what it means and how it differs from person to person. And I think that's really shitty. It's really shitty how how everything has to be catered to one specific demographic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just so harmful.
Mhm.
So harmful.
That's why we're the best couple in the world. No one else is better than us. Do you guys think swingers are dangerous to a monogamous couple?
Swingers, I think,
What
is a monogamous couple that sleeps with other people outside of the relationship, like an open marriage, I guess, or an open.
That's a swinger?
I think.
So I think that we just kind of answered that with like
Yeah.
the idea of like a unicorn, which he
Right,
doesn't
right.
understand. So
I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I thought that swingers were a couple that were seeing people outside of the relationship, but I think it has negative connotations with it. I think it's like the idea, again, they're trying to save a failing relationship or a failing marriage by dating or sleeping with other people outside of that relationship. But yeah, I don't it shouldn't be.
I looked up swinger, and one of the autofill options was swinger beanie baby.
Oh, what
Don't
is
know
that?
how
Oh,
about
sorry.
that.
What does that look like? I'm curious now.
So
go
a
look it-
swinger is a person who engages in group sex or the swapping of sexual partners. So I think that Rivia answered that pretty well. If the monogamous couple does not consent, then that's between them. You know, like as Andrea mentioned this, and this is also something that we, hold very strongly in our relationship.
Mm.
Communication is a two-way street.
Yeah.
So if like one partner of a monogamous couple is going out and like sleeping with swingers and engaging in swinger activities,
Mhm.
and they're not communicating that, then like there's the issue. You know, you should be telling your partner, hey, is it okay if I go do this? And then if they're not okay with it, obviously don't fucking do it.
Mhm.
And then if they if they come around and like, or if they're just like, oh yeah, like that's fine. Just like if you're gonna be doing these things, make sure you're like being safe. Make sure you're like not, like make sure to just like let me know when you're doing these things, so I don't like get worried about where you are or get worried that like you've found somebody else kind of thing.
Right,
So it's just very very communication based is like all that is.
Yeah. I think it's the idea.
Yeah.
Basically, and
Definitely
Yeah.
not the fault of the swingers.
and yeah, it's totally their decision. But again, polyamory shouldn't be automatically associated with sex. I think too. We're trying to like decouple that, especially I don't know where Mobile went, but they are an asexual polyamorous person, and I think that's should be seen as something totally normal. Yeah. So it can be about the sex for some people. If you guys listen to Duncan Trussell, he was in a polyamorous relationship because he had kind of an open marriage. He's married, and they had They had a third partner, That they were in a very happy relationship with, and they were always very careful about communicating. But once his wife got pregnant, they decided, okay, hey, we're gonna put a hold, we're gonna put a pause in this relationship because we don't, that's our boundary. We don't feel comfortable, having multiple people in our, I guess the way they see it, kind of like our main relationship right now. While she's pregnant, and then when we had the baby, and we've been living with the baby for a while, we'll figure out how to go from there. And I feel like that's a really good example of that open communication, because it's not something I really thought about. I was like, wow, they're married, but they're seeing this other person, but they draw the line when his wife is pregnant, so things don't get very muddled or confused. Things don't get weird when there's a baby involved.
I think that is like that, like, one, also like just off the bat, it's a very like good like thing that they're able to communicate like that and be able to have that boundary. But also I think that like it kind of, this is just me kind of like analyzing that. Obviously I don't know them, so I don't know if this is something that they thought about. But I think it's maybe something tied into that idea, like, just monogamous beliefs that have been that have been like hammered into us like from our like childhood and stuff, where it's just like, even though there is that communication of like, oh, like, we're married and everything, but we can still go out and have like, different partners and stuff. I think as soon as a baby is involved, like even though they had that communication and stuff, there was probably still just like a little bit of like stress and worry like inside their like brains, where it was just like, oh, like I don't know if they're out, I don't know like what they're doing out there, I don't know who they're with, that kind of idea. And so it's just like when when the baby was introduced, and it was like, okay, let's stop this so I don't have like to worry about that, and I can put all of my attention on being healthy and giving birth to a healthy baby.
Right. And I think they were also worried, when you're pregnant, there's a lot of hormones involved. So again, I don't think his wife really would have had at that point, not to say that, she couldn't do it before or after. She really couldn't put that effort in to maintain a third relationship, because for her, the father of her child and, being healthy and raising that child, I think was like at the forefront of her mind. Because I think at the, not to say it's all biological, but there is, you do need, it takes a village. You do need someone, at least one person there, your partner, to be able to raise that kid with you. So I'm sure that's why. But I think when the baby is born, they're considering raising all together, if that makes sense. Like raising it, like, Because that's also something to consider too. Like, do you want your baby to just be raised by you two solely, or do you want baby to be raised in a like kind of community, be raised by our partners as well?
I think probably like when they're still soft skull, not like developed.
Precocious?
Is that what it is?
Is it precocious baby when it can't walk already straight out of the womb, or
precocious is something else?
I think precocious means they can.
Precocious sounds like a
mean
thing.
Precocious is a mean thing, but in the scientific world, we also use that to describe how babies are born. So if a baby is born helpless, I think that's a different word. But if it's born pretty independent, like a deer that can, baby deer that can walk, already straight out of the womb, that's a precocious.
Having developed certain abilities or proclivities at an earlier age than usual.
So I don't know what the opposite of precocious is. Non-cocious.
Non-cocious.
I don't know.
Precocious antonym would be backward and slow. I don't think that's right.
There's another word for it scientifically speaking,
probably,
that I don't remember.
So,
I got a bachelor's though, so.
I wanted to touch on this comment from Mike. I think as a straight guy, a lot of us are walking on eggs not to cheat, so to bring up the idea of polygamy would blow over terribly. And then Gabe says there's a lot of stigma around polyamory, especially among straight people.
Right.
And Rivia says straight couples are even weird about their significant other having friends of the opposite gender. And then just this one in general is just a great comment. Swingers are horny people who are having more fun than you. I love that.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I'm laughing at it right now, Gabe. Fuck off.
Please laugh. Please clap.
Please clap. But I wanted to touch on that because, Mike, I think that is like
patriarchal, and is it the straight people it's heteronormativity.
Straight people
yeah.
worrying about or walking on eggs not to cheat.
Mhm.
And I think that the issue with that is, for whatever godforsaken reason, heterosexuality has proven to, or not proven to be, but it has like held itself as this weird little thing where like you're in a relationship with like a person of the opposite sex and you just don't communicate with them for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I don't know like where this stigma came from, where this like concept
very
of
toxic.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you look at these, you know, like you look at these like memes and stuff of like texts between like significant others and partners and stuff where it's just like, oh, haha, like they thought you were cheating, but you were just like
Jokes on you.
yeah,
ha,
jokes
ha,
on
he,
you,
he.
like
Yeah.
we were just playing a prank on you, and it's just like that's not like how things should be, you know, like that. You should be able to communicate with your partner and exist in like a realm where heterosexuality is not a sustainable lifestyle choice.
Sometimes it's
Amen.
really not. Yeah.
It really isn't, especially
Yeah.
with white people.
yeah.
But
yeah, as queer people, we have a very
yeah,
interesting like introspection.
yeah,
On that.
I think that there's
Retrospection?
like any and all relationships, heterosexual, homosexual, polyamorous, monogamous, doesn't matter. Any relationship that you are in, friendship or otherwise,
Yeah.
should be one where you can exist fully trusting your other partner. If
Yeah.
you exist in a realm where you cannot trust your partner, you both need to work on something.
Gotta talk about it.
Yeah, because like the communication again is a two-way street. This is something that I believe not even like well, I mean, yes, in our relationship.
Yeah.
I was gonna say not even in our relationship. I was like, hold on.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'll just leave now.
like you know, definitely in our relationship, but it's also something that I've held for like a long, long time because you just if you don't talk to your significant other and tell them what's on your mind, they can't read your mind.
Exactly. It's like a weird thing to expect.
Yeah,
You know, in a
like
relationship.
you just can't expect them to know everything that you're thinking about. You can't expect them to know what you plan to do, what you're doing at the moment, and it's just like if they have to go through your phone and try to figure out what you're doing with other people, then like that's just like the culmination of the issue where you're just not doing where you're not doing your part, you know? You're
Right.
not both giving as much effort as you should be into making each other happy and comfortable.
And I think recently I actually saw like a really good discussion about this somewhere on social media, probably Tumblr, where people are saying how, yeah, we live in a patriarchy, and yeah, men have done, not just women, just a lot of people, done them over really poorly for, especially in relationship wise. Like we've almost really normalized this idea that women are just going to be treated badly by their partners who are straight. They're in a straight relationship with a cisgender man, and it's very detrimental because we don't hold those men accountable, and we kind of give them a free pass to say like, oh hey, like yeah, all men are bad, I guess. I'm a man, so what are you gonna do? Boys
So,
be
boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys, I guess. So it doesn't give them it doesn't give them incentive to work on their behavior. So people started saying, we shouldn't. Yeah, we can agree. At least me as a cisgender woman, yeah, I have been screwed over by a couple guys in my life, yeah, for sure. So it's very easy for me to say men suck, but but me saying that really voicing that in social media platforms really only perpetuates that problem, and the idea that it's okay to not communicate with your partner, and not okay to like, I shouldn't be asking for my partner to tell me these things, that's too much, like I shouldn't be asking for those things, or it's not, it's more normal for me to sneak around wondering if they're cheating versus me voicing those concerns. So I thought that was just a really interesting thing that came up recently. But yeah, if you're a straight lady out there, in the past I would have joked like, why would you be straight, but now I'm like, yeah, okay, I see how that's a problem. I see how saying that, like, me saying that, hey, men suck, like, why are you asking for it, really puts the blame on these women who are in these awful relationships. Not asking for better, not expecting better, or just anyone who's in a relationship with a man. And thinking that they have that get out of jail free card at all times, when really no, we gotta hold them accountable. We gotta say, hey, no, you gotta communicate always, and not just your romantic relationship, but in all relationships. Because that's how that's what it means to be a mature and good person, I think. So just really really interesting stuff. I don't know if that really related to it, but I was trying to make the connection between the two, between why it's so normal that we don't communicate. And it's just because the bar is so low.
Yeah.
And it's so normalized. And it's so heteronormative, where we're like, and that's why, people don't, straight people don't like polyamory, don't like the idea of polyamory.
Yeah. I think it's like, it's just kind of like, I guess this is just really just patriarchy, but it's
plays
just
a big role.
Yeah, it's very much just like, oh, man can do no wrong. So if they do something you don't like, sorry, you're wrong. So it's like very much still like a patriarchal thing.
Oh yeah, very much. Like, it takes the responsibility away from the man, for sure.
When we should be putting more
like,
on them.
It's you specifically. You gotta do better.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But and I think that's also feeds into the fear. A lot of women feel that their partners will cheat on them, too. Because they feel like, they have no control over that relationship, or they feel like they can't ask any more of their partner. Yeah, so we just got to bring that back. Bring back good, good behaviors in a relationship.
Normalize talking to people.
Yeah, normalize talking to people. Because, like I said, I joked a lot about it in the past. Like, oh, yeah, that's normal. He's a man, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, talk about it. Yeah, be open. Be honest. And always, and don't just be honest one time. Be honest continuously. Yeah. Which is hard to do, but you have to do it. It
takes a lot to be, like, brave enough to talk to somebody and be like, hey, like, maybe I didn't like the way that you did this thing, or, I feel like maybe we should try this, or, like, explore these different avenues, try and, like, just be better people. It takes a lot to be able to even do that, like, to even approach that as an idea that you want to entertain. But, like, after you reach that point and after you pass it, it opens up a whole new world of just, like, once you cross that boundary, being better just, like, is
the norm
ahead of you. Yeah. Like, no matter what you do from that point on, you just keep, like, getting better.
Right.
Because at that point, you've, like, realized the mistakes that you made in the past, and as long as you don't want to repeat those mistakes, you move on to bigger and better things.
Right.
Also, Mike, you asked me earlier, and I didn't get to that because we keep talking. But you said, have you ever felt threatened by a friend of Andrea's, like a guy who you're worried about? No, I haven't.
Okay,
Andrea, there's...
I feel so bad.
No, there's, there's that... stigma of, like, not talking to your exes or whatever, or people, like, get freaked out if, like, their significant other talks to their exes and stuff. Andrea talks to just one, right? Just Elliot?
Yeah, just Elliot.
Yeah,
really.
She talks to one of her exes, and I don't care because I mean, like, that sounds,
I exposed him.
No, it sounds bad, but it's just like like, I don't care that she speaks to her ex because, we're in a relationship together. We trust each other. Well, I trust you. I don't know. But
I don't. No kidding. No.
Yeah,
of course I trust you.
Yeah, so, like, we trust each other, and, like, we know that we are not gonna do anything, like, that crosses like preset boundaries. And if we're, like, curious about something, then, like, we'll ask about it. We'll try to, like, talk it out, and then we'll, like, move from there. It's not just it's not just like, I don't have to worry about Andrea because ultimately she's her own person anyway. Like, I'm not gonna police her activities, but also I know that even if I am not policing her activities, like, we're still in a comfortable enough relationship where if we want to pursue something else or, like, try something that might be socially frowned upon a little bit, like, we'll still just kind of have that discussion before we actually throw ourselves into pursuing that other thing.
Right. Well, yeah. That's what's, it's really that foundation of trust, I think. Yeah.
Trust and comfort are very important things.
Because we've talked about, finding, we talked about, finding other people attractive versus us actively being attractive to other people, I think once or twice. Like if we're out in public and we're like, wow, that person's really pretty.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
wow,
people
that
watching.
person's. Yeah, we'll go people watching. And we'll be like, yeah, that person's really pretty, or wow, that guy's really hot. But again, when we talked about it, we were like, it's a very big distinction between finding someone attractive versus being attracted and wanting to pursue something, which again is something that we'll talk about if it ever happens. But yeah, I'm at that point where I feel like I trust you to talk to me about it. I trust that you won't pursue someone without bringing it up first.
Like that waitress at Lazy Dog with the eyebrows.
I feel so bad though. I hope she wasn't a minor. Or because they
God,
were all
you're right.
minors.
They were.
We felt bad because we saw
No,
there was a cute waitress at Lazy Dog. But
They were all under 21. I don't know if they were all minors.
Right. But still, you never know.
Yeah, it's
so
a dangerous
weird
game.
Finding someone. Like, it's weird when you find out, like, they're like, oh my god, they're 3 years younger than me? What?
Yeah, it's weird because, like, we're 23, and, like,
Yeah,
sometimes I'll, like, be on TikTok, and I'll see, like, a cute girl or whatever, and then I'm like, wow, they're so pretty, and then I, like, swipe to their profile, and they're, like, 16, or, like, they're, like, 16 is just, like, weird. I'm just like, why do you look like you're fucking 20? But then, like, there's, like, 18-year-olds and stuff, too, and I'm just like, wow, like, this isn't super weird because they're, like, not a minor, but it's still
so
weird because it's 5 years. I'm old.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
spamming your mac and cheese sounds delicious.
It's good. I've tried it before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I haven't had mac and cheese in fucking forever, dude.
So good. We always have a Crafts one box in there.
I like Annie's. Annie's is actually super good.
Yeah, it's probably healthier too, so I should probably switch.
Probably more expensive though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's, again, patriarchy. A lot of young girls feel like they have to age themselves up.
Yeah,
to be
and
like,
it's just
I have
makeup and
to."
stuff.
Yeah,
But it's just like,
it's dangerous.
You're
It's
16,
dangerous.
man.
It can be dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, but I've had that happen a few times where, I don't know, like once I had like a friend introduce me to her brother, and I was like, she was like, stop, he's 15. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm 18. Okay. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I'm moving on now. Yeah.
Cops.
Yeah. Which is definitely, I feel like as you get older, if you're like 27, your partner's 25, that's not that weird.
Yeah.
Or 24.
But this is also like something that's discussed pretty often in like just like discourse circles and stuff, where it's just like,
yeah. We got so sidetracked. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
But, yeah.
It's hold on, what were we talking about?
We're talking about how minors will age themselves up to, specifically minor girls, and then how we talked about finding people attractive versus being attracted to people.
So we were talking
there
about
was discourse about that.
There was discourse about.
Because it was be okay for 27 dating someone who's like 24.
Ah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So there's discourse about that because it's like some people will say like, oh, if you're like, let's say you're like 19 dating like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Then like people are like, oh, that's fine because they're both quote unquote adults.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's people that are like, actually, it's only okay if they met or if they started or if they had these like feelings for each other after the younger partner turned 18. Because then it's like, because then the idea is like, oh, if the 19-year-old had feelings for the other person when they were 17, then it's like, ooh, that's bad. And it's just like, I
don't think so.
Don't know about that one.
I don't know. I want to say no, tentatively. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's like very hard to like.
It's a weird one.
Words,
that's why it's like discussed in like the discourse circles.
If it was like a purely sexual relationship, I would say,
Yeah.
even at that young, I'd be like, you guys have so much like
More
so
to
much
develop.
learning and
Yeah.
a little bit more time to figure yourself out and develop before you're engaging in a lot of this stuff. And I can see how that'd be a problem. 19, 17, that's still considered in court, in law of court. I think that's considered statutory.
Statutory, yeah.
Yeah, statutory. So I feel like that, but if they were like in school together and maybe one kid was put in a little bit later because his birthday is really,
Or he got held back because he's
got held
dumb.
back. Yeah, and then I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when people say 18 and 17-year-olds dating, and I'm like, I feel like that's fine.
It's like it definitely is not like it's not an end all be all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how relationships in general are. Like, a lot of the stuff is not end all be all. It's just you gotta talk about these things, you know?
Right. And also this idea, much rather have an 18-year-old date a 17-year-old. I'd see that relationship in a much more positive light than seeing that 18-year-old dating a 28-year-old. Because it's like, again, an 18 and 17-year-old are going to be much more closer together in terms of experience. They just, still finishing up high school, barely starting college, or, they're going to be very close to each other in terms of what they have experienced, what they haven't. If you're 18 and dating a 28-year-old, your experiences are going to be so vastly different. And I think that's what the issue I have with age gaps is,
Sorry,
so if that makes sense.
Do a thing. Yeah, no, it absolutely does, and
Yeah,
I wholly agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that, like, Cam says it there too. I feel like a 1-year age gap is just not enough to be.
Not at all.
Not enough. Don't call the cops on that. You know. What was so aggressive?
I don't know.
Also, let's see. Do you think it's a form of cheating to introduce my ex as a friend to my new love interest just because I don't want to hear the riot act? What the fuck is a riot act?
Are we gonna Google it?
Oh, sure. I feel like that's a political thing.
I don't know.
A law passed by the British government in 1715 and repealed in 1967.
We were talking about native nations earlier, so.
Is your ex just gonna drop you, like, what does it actually mean to read the riot act? It usually means been caught engaging in antisocial behavior and chastised accordingly. Okay, so.
Sorry, my mom got chocolates from Haley and she's really happy.
You're fine. Do you think it's a form of cheating that I introduced my ex as a friend to my new love interests? No. I don't think so. Because Andrea has told me, like, she would like me to meet her.
Tentatively. He's kind of weird.
Okay. But it has come up. Like, that idea has come up.
It's my ex that I worry about more, just because he's a very, very emotional person, and I don't know if he would be keen on the idea for whatever reason. But I'm not worried about Jeremy reacting badly at all, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing to say that my ex would react poorly, potentially. But, yeah, because he also lives where my roommates live, up in Davis, Bay Area, it might be a possibility that they meet. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, he's a very, very possessive guy.
Yeah,
I hope he's not watching.
So we'll think about that. We'll ruminate on that one. But
I felt he was possessive. Again, I didn't communicate as well as I should have in that relationship, and that was on me. So, yeah. And I'll always recognize that. But
I definitely don't think it's cheating, because it's like,
not at all.
Like, you guys aren't in a relationship anymore, so there's nothing that you should be worried about in general. But if you guys are ex-partners, and then you introduce your ex as a friend to your new love interests, and then they get upset with you, then there's something that you need to talk about there that exists outside of the idea of cheating or the idea of having new love interests. Because clearly you guys aren't together anymore, but if they're getting upset with you moving on, then you need to discuss that with them.
Yeah.
Jealousy is a normal feeling 100%, but also a lot of people take it way too far. Yeah, as you say, they let the jealousy dictate shitty behavior, which is something that I used to deal with a lot, and now I've finally, grown up and gotten some balls.
Also, it's the idea that your feelings are always valid, but your reactions are not always valid, if that makes sense. Your reactions to those feelings are not always valid.
Yeah.
Because someone can say, like, yeah, you have a right to be upset, but don't smash my things up about it, and that's completely 100% a good thing to say, a good boundary to set. So, yeah.
It's everything boils down to communication. Also, Rivia, yeah, that was 100% super aggressive, and I hope that wasn't like offensive to anybody.
Wait, when you said
just being held back in school.
Oh.
Yeah, just the joke, a little bit in poor taste. So I apologize if it was offensive, but
it was a totally joke. Yeah.
Totally joke. Let's see. There's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with monogamy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with monogamy. Like monogamy is the social norm. The only thing that we're discussing here is like, is it a compulsory thing? Is everybody in society, like, quote unquote, obligated to buy into a monogamous lifestyle, as opposed to just exploring and being able to pursue, like, maybe polyamory if they wanted to, or nothing at all if they also wanted to.
And I think we're talking about monogamy also in the scope of heteronormativity and patriarchy, and how they've really twisted monogamy into this, like, it's the only moral thing, the only right thing. It comes with its own set of rules. Don't communicate to your partner. You know, don't expect anything more. You know.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it in a very specific lens, but yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with monogamy. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with monogamy. A lot wrong with not
society.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's definitely true. But there's a lot wrong with just not communicating, which I think is a large part of what sustains monogamy, even.
Oh yeah, and and also we were looking at it through that lens, but also in the lens of colonialism, which a lot of people I think aren't familiar with, like using monogamy as a means to take away land rights from indigenous people. And
I feel like rights in general.
Yeah,
you
just
could
right.
even say.
Yeah, really, honestly, yeah, because no matter how they see those, no matter how monogamous that really quote unquote that relationship is, if you are a native person, they're always gonna find an excuse to like say like, oh, but it's not monogamous like this, But yeah, definitely not something I thought about, and something I realized I was like, that was a privilege check, because as someone who is not part of that heritage or does not come from that cultural background, I don't worry about not being able to be polygamous, or not being able to express that part of myself. There's just so much. Oh, it's a really good podcast. There was just so much stuff. I had never heard about blood quantum before. Like, that's how we register Native peoples.
Blood quantum?
Blood quantum. I don't know. I'll talk about it really quick because it's not related at all to the conversation. But again, it was another huge privilege check for me. But blood quantum is this idea, or it's not even a scientific idea, that the United States federal government instigated as a means to disenfranchise people and disenroll them from their tribes. So essentially, blood quantum measures the percentage of blood that comes from where. So if you want to be enrolled in the Cherokee Nation, you have to have a certain percentage of your blood come from Cherokee.
Interesting.
Which is really, it doesn't make any sense. There's like no way to like quantify that. And
that just kind of feels like fancy segregation.
Yeah, basically. And so for a lot of these women, they really have to think about who they fall in love with, or who they, potentially marry. Because if you marry someone outside of your tribe, you will be disenrolled out of that tribe. You will be essentially kicked out. And not because the tribe necessarily has that incentive to, but because according to treaties and federal government, you are no longer enrolled. And there was this really, really sad case from one of the speakers who caught HPV from one of her partners who was not communicating. Yeah, blood quantum sucks. Blood quantum is so shitty. Such a shitty social construct. But anywho, she caught HPV from a past partner and got cervical cancer because she didn't know she had HPV, so it manifested as cancer. And according to her tribe, I think she's of Navajo Nation, in order for her kids to be considered Navajo, they have to come from her. But the surgeries related to cervical cancer may have affected her fertility in one way or the other. So there's no guarantee she'll be able to carry a child to term and give birth, healthily. And it's just really fucked up to think about that you can't raise your kid in your own culture, just because they weren't, born from the right father, or they didn't come from you biologically. And yeah, it's just a really huge privilege that I have, that I didn't realize I had, to not worry about being able to raise my kids under my culture, or not, worrying that I won't be able to live in my own home anymore because I'll be kicked out, depending on who I fall in love with, who I marry.
Reservations, I feel like in general, are just like a disease.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because recently in the podcast that I'm listening to too, I heard about like the way that laws and like judicial systems work specifically in reservations. So like what happens is, and I might be wrong, I might have like misinterpreted it, but essentially what it sounded like was that crimes that happen on reservation land, if they're from a person outside of the reservation, so like if a random person just enters the reservation and like murders them, then like they can't be tried in the reservation because they're not a part of the reservation. And it was basically the government's way of saying like, oh, if something happens with one of our citizens going into your reservation and committing crimes there, then like, you know, we're gonna like, it gives us more power to like do whatever. But if like if reservation people commit crimes on reservation property, then the reservation can prosecute them. But if they're not of the reservation, then they can literally just go in, do whatever they want, and then just dip. And then the reservation is like, hey, government, can you go prosecute this person for us? And the government's just like, oh, yeah, we'll do it. And then just, like, doesn't. So, like, everything is basically just a way, like, of making sure, like, Native Americans and stuff don't get the proper treatment that they deserve as human fucking beings.
Yeah. And it's just really interesting, but just really sad to think about, because most of these speakers on this podcast, you know, they're Native women, Indigenous women. They got their PhDs in Ivy Leagues of all places. And so they're these extremely accomplished women. And I was like, holy shit, this like really gets me like, you know, psyched up to go to grad school, like hearing all their stories and stuff. But the way, you know, culturally, the way they mark their like biggest success is the ability to have babies. And that's because, you know, they were, you know, and that really stems from the idea that, you know, there were entire societies and cultures were almost completely wiped out in the blink of an eye, that now they're really trying so hard to recover, and there's all these different barriers. So if as an Indigenous woman, if you can have an Indigenous baby, that's like the greatest success you can accomplish. It's really very fucked up. I'm sorry, I'm saying fuck a lot. I hope your mom's not watching, but I was like, wow,
it's fancy segregation. Point blank period.
And I was just, you know, such a very humbling to hear these women's stories, but also huge privilege that I have to not worry about that, you know, not worry about, you know, not being able to.
Gabe, drink your fucking water. I'm so tired of you.
Okay, sorry.
If you haven't recently, drink some nothing. Hydration is stupid. I hate you.
I'll drink something. Well, it blends in with the background, so it's kind of nothingness, right?
It's nothing. You're drinking nothing.
Yeah.
Gatorade.
Yeah. I'll never forget how much Elena drank Gatorade. One of my cousins just lived off of Gatorade and hot Cheetos for 2 years. I don't know how she doesn't have like an ulcer or something.
Kids heal quick is what it is.
I guess so.
Mike texted me something. I'm not gonna read it because I don't want to like, you know, fully expose him in public. But what I'm gonna say to you is probably not, especially the latter half of that question that you texted me. Definitely not. But the first one is on and kind of yes, kind of no, just because there's a pretty big gap there between like the experiences that you guys have had. So I think it's definitely play it safe and just go after people a little bit closer.
Yeah. Because I think the issue with relationships with big age gaps is that the person who's older will always have, it's almost like a power dynamic.
Yeah.
They'll always have like I know more than you, you know, I've experienced more than you. So therefore you have to listen and do everything I want you to do.
Yeah, like you do to me, piece of shit.
Yeah, so that's why it's very tricky. Very tricky.
Not
stuff.
you, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Mike.
Oh no! I'm just commenting on it. That's why I said I'd rather see a relationship between an 18 and a 17-year-old versus an 18 and a 28-year-old. Because yes, they're both adults, but it's too far of an, you know, such a, like when you're 28, you know, you're usually out of school by then, and you've usually had your first apartment. You've usually, you know,
like if you just boil it down, you know, like then like let's say you're fresh 18, you know, if you're a 28 dating an 18-year-old, if you push that all the way back down, if you're 18, you're dating an 8-year-old, and that's not great. Because imagine the mental difference that you have as an 18-year-old versus an 8-year-old. And then it's just like, that kind of puts it into perspective about how different your lives are it kind of puts it into perspective at like how different your lives are, or fuck, how do I say this? How like the points that the points, kind of the points that you're each at in your own respective lives are so vastly different from each other. And I think that if you boil it down to 18 versus 8-year-old, like it really puts that into perspective.
Yeah. That's why whenever I see, oh my god, like in JoJo, when that was like a 46 age difference?
Stop.
I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
something like that. Joseph and Tomoko.
She did get her little gift that is Josuke, but my god, 46? He was 40. Joseph was 46, and Tomoko was like not even conceived yet.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, different mental ages. Like it's important that you're able to communicate with your partner on a level befitting of your own personal age.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, so, okay. You have a real credit score and she has a fake one-time item score. I don't even know what the fuck that is, Mike.
I'm on JoJo part 4 too. Part 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait, part 4, part 5. There's so many parts.
Yeah, but Gabe hasn't even met Kira yet.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little bit ahead.
My dad?
I don't like that.
Yeah, sorry, that was a little too much.
I'm very excited to see how it all plays out. I just have so much brain rot right now.
I know.
It's like JoJo, I'm watching Ruby, I'm also watching Hilda Season 2, and Onyx Equinox. I haven't been this swamped with shows in a long time. So, yeah. Which also, if you guys are looking to support a really cool creator telling an indigenous story set in Mesoamerica, please check out my friend's show called Onyx Equinox on Crunchyroll. You can watch it for free. Yeah. There you go. That's my plug.
Is she paying us?
No, you just watch it for free with ads, though.
Is she paying us to promote her show?
No. I really appreciate Sophia's work.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Sorry. And lately she's got a lot of shit, too. Yeah, Infinity Train. I watched Infinity Train, which Sophia also worked on as well. So one of the I think she was a storyboarder. I don't know. She did something for parts 1 and 2 of Infinity Train, and then she made her own show this fall, Onyx Equinox. Very good. It's very good stuff. Yeah, but I love Infinity Train. I keep telling Jeremy to watch it. I feel like you'd enjoy it. Yeah, it's really very good. Very good stuff. So a lot of brain rot right now, in general.
Yeah. Welcome to dating me. Jujutsu Kaisen is on my list. I haven't watched it yet, but I know a lot. I've seen scenes about it, and it makes me just, like,
horny?
Salivate. Jeez.
I'm not gonna say horny. It's fast.
I mean, sure. Yeah, it does make me horny. We'll say that.
Valid. Cool. It's also, I've heard good things, so I'll check that out at some point, too.
Also, I saw another clip of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles earlier this morning.
So sad it got ended.
I know.
Or
it's
canceled.
so pretty.
It's very beautifully done. I don't know. I feel like that studio, that's their first show, right?
I don't know,
Studios?
actually.
Okay, because I haven't seen any. The only other one that I saw coming out was the Lego one. In that same style, but
oh god, it just looks so good.
Very good.
Jujutsu Kaisen
I'll get to it eventually.
Very good. Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
To go back to what Mike was saying, Mike, move on.
Horny jail.
Yeah. Just move on to.
If I took my hydro flask, I'm just.
Yeah, they would hear it, like in their own respective homes. They would just hear it.
The cat that was just sitting there, and he turns around, and he's like, thunk, to the other cat.
Yeah.
So fucked up. Cats are so mean.
Yeah, Mike, you need to move on and find somebody else.
Done.
Yeah, just move on. That's all I have to say to you is just move on.
Yeah. They went off.
Yeah, Rise of TMNT was insanely beautiful. Like for
really good.
Really just no reason.
They just
like,
I don't know. They had extra free time, I guess.
It killed.
Yeah.
God, it was too powerful. That's why they had to take it off.
Mm-hmm. They're like, we can't do this. We can't. Or we're losing followers, or we're losing viewers.
Yeah, we're
SpongeBob.
we're losing viewers on everything else, and they're all coming here.
Yeah. Or I wish that was the case, but I think that wasn't the case, and that's why it got canceled. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't know why. It was beautiful animation, but I guess people, because they already had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show on there previously, and I think maybe people are like, I'm tired.
Rise was so good though. Like it's just like visually appealing. I don't give a shit about the turtles like at all.
Yeah.
The Rise made me give a shit. I was like,
yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know. I guess just I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened, but I guess people were like,
Good shows always die early. It's not fair.
Yeah. The only one that didn't was Avatar, and that was 2008. Last time that happened.
They beat a dead horse with Korra.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just kidding. I know you like Korra.
I like Korra, but I'm not like crazy about it.
I know. It's definitely not as good as the original.
Definitely not as good, but the animation, definitely, such a huge difference because, 2008 versus 2014, such a huge difference.
But even, like, Last Airbender was incredibly done.
Yeah. So take that, but, times it a couple times, and you get Korra, which had very good animation. But yeah, storytelling was not that good.
I think, and I was like,
every time I hear about book 1, I'm like, I always think of the iconic Tumblr post that was like, when Korra happens, we're popping the biggest bottles, and that's literally it, word for word. And people like will re-blog and they're like, wow, remember this?
Korrasami, baby.
Remember this? Yeah.
that was a big pop off.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of people. Funnily enough, though, and I feel bad saying this, but I was. Oh, do I have a fuzzy in my hair?
I think so. I think I got it.
Cool. I wasn't that crazy about Korrasami when it first dropped because I felt like it was like a cop out almost.
I wasn't either
like
because
the end, and I was like, they didn't. They just hold hands, look at each other. I was like, I wasn't super ecstatic about it. But I know it meant a lot to a lot of Wooloo. But for me, I was like, it didn't really. It happened in the last literal 30 seconds of the show, and we don't get to explore it more. And I feel like it was just a big cop out to be like, whoa, we're progressive. We cater to
it was just like
to the bisexuals and the lesbians,
the bis,
the gays.
But I think it was definitely like just a big step, really, because I think that was like the first one where it was like even a hint of
it's
women
for sure
can love women.
But I guess because it came after the Steven Universe one, where Garnet and
Ruby and Sapphire.
Ruby and Sapphire were confirmed relationship, and I was like, that's what I wanted. I wanted like
Steven Universe.
So Steven Universe in my mind did it first. So that's why I was like, I'm not super happy with. I'm not crazy about Korrasami, but I do think it's very cute. So yeah, but that's not on that. That's my whole rant on that. But I am offended. Well, not as offended as some people, but yeah, I'm offended by the Netflix version of Winx Club. They look like they're going the Riverdale route where they try to make it gritty for no reason.
I think they also literally just removed one.
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the trailer. I just kept seeing the screenshot everywhere.
I don't think they removed one. I think they supremely whitewashed one.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it. Maybe. I wasn't super into Winx growing up. I did have a phase though where I was like, oh my god, yeah, and my witch phase too. I don't know if you know Witch as well. Which is funny because someone compared the characters for the Netflix Winx, and they were like, I think they were looking at the wrong one, guys, because they look like the Witch characters.
I think I know what you're talking about because I remember just being confused about those two.
They came out in the same time. Ugh, so confusing. But anyways, I read the novels religiously.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah,
the novels are good, and they made an animated series on Disney that was canceled. But yeah, people were saying they look more like those characters than Winx, and I was like, you know what? They probably did confuse them because they're very similar ideas, kind of similar energies. But yeah.
Adventure Time went on for a while, and they're still technically going because they've got like Obsidian and all those other like little movies and whatever.
Yeah.
Core was doing it for one season, so then they just scramble for the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Wow, the first season's not even good, so fuck.
It's because Nickelodeon was like, we gotta give him more. And
see, yeah, they removed somebody just straight up.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, okay. Tekna was like the. Okay, I'm remembering. I guess we're not sure. Maybe they'll be introduced later because I didn't watch the show. We didn't have cable, so I just watched bits and pieces whenever it was on someone else's TV. But they might be introduced later. Maybe that's why they weren't in the trailer. Who knows? But the whitewash music.
No, because there's been like pictures of like the cast and stuff, and they're just not there.
Weird.
So I feel like if they were gonna be introduced later, like obviously they would be on that because you want to promote that. But they just straight up removed somebody.
They're like, fuck Tekna in particular. We don't need her. I don't even remember what she did. She was just like, technology.
Wow.
Sentient.
Good name, Tekna.
Well, yeah, Musa was music.
Oh my god.
Someone, I forgot her name. I forgot all their names. Oh, shoot. So there was Tekna, who was technology. Musa, who was music. There was Flora, who was plants.
And then there was Terra from Teen Titans, who controlled rocks.
And then there was one who was fire. And I remember I related to her so much because she was trying to find out, like why she had these powers. Because you have to like be related of some descent, I think, to these. Yeah. What?
You know what that sounds like?
What?
That sounds like JoJo's, baby.
Yeah, kind of. And she didn't know who her dad was, so she was like, "Whoa, my dad was like this mysterious figure that's why I have these powers. That's why I have these powers now." And for me as a little girl, it was like, "Oh my god, holy shit, that's me! I don't know my dad."
You're Josuke.
Yeah. So, but I don't think her name
was Josuke.
It wasn't. It was. Yeah, it was Josuke actually, because she was fire, but
Fira.
Maybe. And then there was sun. One of them could control the power of the sun.
What the fuck?
Very fucking weird.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's kind of ridiculous.
It's really stupid.
That's just God.
Wait, let's see.
Winx Club character God.
Kind of. She had a staff that controlled the sun. Her name was Bloom. There you go. And that's Tekna.
That's the sun
Stella.
one?
That's the sun one.
That's the sun one?
Yeah, that's the sun one. I don't know what else she does.
Kind of insane. Imagine just being able to control the sun.
I don't think, she's not, controlling it in the sky. She can harness the power of the sun, if that makes sense. Like, send blasts that are, as powerful as, this solar ray. I don't know. Very strange.
That's kind of insane still.
But, yeah.
Also, Michael, don't you ever disrespect me like that again. I read that and physically felt pain in my soul. 4 is immensely good. I don't know where you are right now, but you're clearly not far enough. Because the ending of it is incredible. The story arc with the main villain, fucking fantastic. Don't you ever shame it. Part 5 is also really good.
That's why we're still going. We're almost done with part 4. Still going strong. Sorry, my lips are so dry. I shouldn't be peeling them, but here I am.
Here, I'll spit on them for you.
Please don't. Please clap.
Please clap.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see how Winx comes out. I mean, if anyone watches it, I don't know if anyone's going to watch it now, but...
People are probably still going to watch it. They're going to be like, whoa, I would sure love to watch this thing. and just people are going to hate watch it, is what it is.
I love the belly button guy from My Hero.
Aoyama?
Aoyama. I love him so much.
He's
so stupid.
You like very interesting characters.
Very niche character. Okay, me and Maya really love Aoyama, okay?
No, the only reason I'm saying that is because you also like Mikitaka.
I love him.
Mikitaka was
so
like your...
cute. He's like a very, I don't know, he's just like a little alien guy. He's so cute. That's it. Also, something about
he should
hair.
come back
his
pretty
hair
soon.
is very sexy. Something about just long, straight hair. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, he should come back pretty soon, I think. I didn't think that it was that late in the series.
I'm excited. He's a good man.
I told you about the guy in the electric tower, like the cell tower, right?
You maybe? Oh yeah, you did because I have cell towers behind my
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yeah, I have not finished Attack on Titan since it came out in 2013, unfortunately.
Attack on Titan, I gave up on, and then I found out that the guy is just like supremely imperialist.
Just like the Darling and the Franks guy.
Yeah.
Weird. There's a trend.
And straight up, like the story basically ends by saying, the people who can turn into Titans are basically the Jews. Also, this is the Holocaust, and I was like, wow, I don't want to read that.
Yeah.
Also, I actually did not know this, but Mikitaga's shapeshifting ability is named Earth, Wind, and Fire, so that's actually godlike.
That's so good for him. He deserves it.
What episode is this?
Transmission time. Oh yeah. Okay. I see.
23rd story arc. Jesus Christ. What episode is this?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Anime episodes 31 and 32. Oh, so we're like right there.
Yeah.
Wow. My God, it's gonna be so good. Just
He's
the
such
whole
a good
ending is so
lad.
good. Are Earth, Wind, and Fire no bell solos? Did we do that?
You are Mikitaka.
Oh my God. Is that why you want to fuck me so bad?
Yeah.
Nobel Middle School, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
You think we'll come up for that?
I don't know. Maybe on YouTube.
We are currently searching.
Yeah. But what were we even talking about? No.
We were talking about JoJo and Winx, but mostly Winx at that point because we were wondering what Stella's name was.
Wind and Fire. Gabe, I know that we had a I don't know. I know that we had a solo together in Flight of the Thunderbird, but I don't know about Earth, Wind, and Fire. I don't remember that.
Had like the weirdest primal urge.
What?
Because you were leaning over with your arms up, and I just wanted to like poke you in the ribs. I don't know why. It was very cat-like. I was just like, but then I didn't. Yeah.
You do the thing with the shoop.
Yeah, I do that to Diego all the time. He's like, stop. Diego. Told you we got into a fight, right? I think I already told you.
You did.
So annoying. I hate him a lot.
It's
But
okay.
I live with him.
It's just siblings.
So I'm stuck. No kidding. I don't hate you. But I love how he says, I don't love you anymore.
He's watching this.
When he's mad, when my brother's mad at me, he'll say, I don't love you anymore. And I'll always say, you didn't love me in the first place. Yeah.
I don't know. My brother's just not home. I don't know where he is. He went to San Diego and just didn't come back.
You know what that means? We can jump on his bed. I don't know. His bed looks like it'd be very supported if you jump on it.
When we got it, it was already kind of like bashed up on the
Never mind. Yeah.
the like slats and stuff that like held the mattress kind of aren't like super great. So probably
Okay,
not.
because I don't jump on my bed anymore because the slats, I'm scared of breaking them. So
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Mine are made of metal, so it's fine.
I still don't want to jump on them though because they're old.
Also,
older.
it's memory foam, so I feel like you can't really jump on it.
That's true. Yeah. Only one way to find out.
Maybe don't.
I'm gonna jump.
I'm gonna
Jump. I said jump.
I said jump.
We should watch. That's what we should watch. Ghost
Stories. Maybe honestly, we probably could
And
watch
drink.
it on here.
We should drink too.
What if we just streamed watching all of Ghost Stories?
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. I think. I was gonna ask when we're done with JoJo, you should pick a show that you haven't seen that you'd like to watch.
JoJo's Adventure.
You
JoJo's
haven't
Bizarre
seen.
Adventure.
I
JoJo's
said.
Bizarre Adventure.
I underline that you haven't seen.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
All right. Well, guess the rest of my life is just gonna be watching it over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's
It
just the Mikitaka parts.
Oh, I wouldn't object to that. He's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, the humor. Some of the humor definitely hasn't aged well, but some of it aged better than the rest. Like that, the scene where they like burst into the police station. The guy's just like eating a donut. He's like, "Drop the donut, Serpico!" I'm just like, pigs.
Yeah, I always quote the part. I don't know. I love the. My favorite part now will always be the part where he's like, "They beat me up all the time. I don't need another goddamn reason."
It's just good. Like there's so much
Yeah.
like quotable material. It's fire.
Yeah. She's like, "You watch your goddamn mouth." Yeah, so funny.
I don't need another goddamn reason.
Yeah. Oh, so and the way like the voice actor just incredible, amazing, wonderful.
His funny
Polished.
little voice.
His request.
His funny little requests. Touch me.
me.
His grabby little hands. Touch me harder.
Oh, his reprimands. Harder.
Disgusting.
Or the part I love the one where he's like, he's like, "Oh, why are you guys still here? School's over. Go home.
Go home,
Go home,
silly."
sillies. It's a nice cat." Or the part.
The cat too.
Or the part where he's like, "Nah."
Fucker.
And he's like, "She's right. You are retarded."
But I like that's
Yeah.
why it hasn't like aged
Yeah,
well.
I was like, I'll only say it quoting that. I won't say that in like
Yeah.
normal day to day. But I was like, oh fuck!
God.
I hope to God you're adopted. I say that to Dave all the time. No wonder he hates me.
This was the principal of the school. She looks like a lesbian.
Hey, careful. That's our mother, our dead mother. You feel bad now?
Ugh.
Or oh my god, me and Adrian quoted the really bad ones. Where I don't think I should say it. I feel really bad saying it, but
We'll say it off stream.
yeah, we'll say it off stream
Because I think we're done now anyway, right?
I think so. If you're
Have we exhausted this topic? Does anybody have any further
any
questions
about polygamy,
monogamy,
blood quantum?
relationships?
Because I admit I'm not an expert because I'm not someone living in America that's affected by blood quantum, but whew, I learned a lot about it this past week, much more than I ever thought I could have learned about blood quantum and the shit that indigenous women go through. Yeah.
Does anybody want to ask me how fat my pussy is?
Don't ask. Is your mom
Oh, I
still
hope I-
alive? Yeah, stop.
I just say like I don't expect them to watch. Like what am I supposed to do?
Not say it. Be good and Christian. Oh, blood quantum. We were talking about it earlier, but yeah. Good
Gabe,
night.
you're literally actually. Hold on.
Do you define it as a relationship?
No, he does.
Okay.
He's definitely dating the two of them. Gabe, do you consider yourself as being in two relationships, or do you consider yourself as being in one?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Oh.
300 pounds.
Wow, wish mine was that fat.
Yeah. The only reason I have an ass is because I just have to use my legs and like glutes so much to drag around my ginormous dripping puss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get banned.
You are gonna get
Two?
banned.
Okay, so yeah. But so Gabe considers himself as being in two relationships, which
Okay,
makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to learn more about blood quantum, I definitely suggest listening to All My Relations on anywhere you listen to podcasts, because I'm not an expert on that, but
Can we sponsor us?
yeah.
Onyx Equinox, sponsor
Sophia,
us.
please, if you're watching, and if All My Relations ladies, if you're out there.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sorry, I'm
yeah,
always plugging stuff. one way
Onyx
or another.
Equinox, All My Relations, and then mine, and that's why we
Plugging
drink.
Interstellar too. Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, sponsor
up.
us.
It's been months since I started talking about Interstellar.
I already watched it. I was sold. Where's my money?
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I felt bad.
No, it was
like,
really good.
I probably hyped it up. And you
No,
were
it was
like,
super good.
This is it.
I was just shocked that guy like died like so fucking quick.
Oh, who?
They like touched down on the water planet and then just got.
Oh yeah,
That's his fault though.
They drop like flies. Yeah, pretty much. Well, kind of, more or less. But not really. There's not that many of them, anyways. But anywho, you watch the movie, so you understand. But yeah, we need to be paid.
He just got taken out
Yeah.
real quick. But that was his fault because he was just like, whoa, look, a wave.
Mm-hmm. But also, he wanted to save, I guess, her first. Anne Hathaway was his priority.
Soon.
Because he was simping. But yeah, definitely. All My Relations. Good
Sponsored.
podcast.
Sponsored.
Watch Onyx Equinox.
Sponsored.
On Crunchyroll. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Sponsored.
We do already know about JoJo, so there's no need for us to say
Sponsored. But here, let me do that.
Cool.
What is going on there?
Oh my god.
That's the worst shit.
It's
It's Edgeworth.
It's him. Incredible. They were here all along. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna fall.
It's my sexy lawyer dad. But yeah, I changed tomorrow's stream to also 12 p.m. because I think people are on break now and stuff
Yeah.
from school. So I figured 12 p.m. would be a little bit easier for people to tune into. Also, it gives me more time to do like the Ace Attorney cases because those have been getting pretty long. I'm averaging I think probably 7 hours a stream per case, and this next one I think is pretty long. So I'm probably gonna try and cut it a little bit short. And then just split it into 2 streams, but we'll see how I'm feeling, really. But thank you everyone for tuning in today. Space Femboy, that's me. I got my pussy guns. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the support. This was a really good stream, I think.
People had questions about polygamy.
Yeah, thank you guys for engaging us, and thank you for asking questions, giving us more to talk about. Hopefully, future streams will be able to have that much engagement as well, because that feels, good, and it allows us to just kind of interact with you guys more as well. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for the support, and we'll see you all next week. I will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST. Sounds good.
School's over. Go home.
School's over. Go home, Sealy. All right.
Thank you for having me, as always. I know I don't make a lot of sense sometimes.
You make more sense than I
do.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.
Happy holiday. Wait, I guess New Year's not. No. Okay.
Well, no.
If you celebrate Christmas, please.
Because we've got the 27th.
Have a good Christmas.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
You celebrate.
Because I know Hanukkah's already going on.
Hanukkah, I think, already ended too.
Are you serious?
It only lasts 8 days. If you celebrated Hanukkah, I hope that went smoothly for you.
Happy holidays.
Was very happy and safe. And if you celebrate Christmas, have a good Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Fun little thing to leave you guys with. Apparently, I accidentally activated Siri on my watch, and I just looked at it, and she was like, "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that." And apparently, what it had picked up was just me saying soup. So, soup.
Enjoy some soup. Yeah,
Enjoy
Hanukkah's
some soup.
Over.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hanukkah's over. Oops, my bad.
But if you celebrated,
I hope it was great. If you guys are gonna be celebrating Christmas, fantastic. If you guys are celebrating other holidays, I think Kwanzaa's also coming up.
I think so.
Then hopefully that goes super well for you guys as well.
Or Noche Buena or Purísima, which is what I celebrate. So I don't know if anyone's celebrating that, but yeah, should be nice.
You can also just celebrate nothing if you guys are, feeling
it
a
is
little
a pandemic
low and
too, so
want to just kick it by yourself. Kick it, turn on the TV, watch some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
drink some eggnog,
get drunk, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But thank you all for the support, and we'll see